that's a bigger problem than Donald Trump?
No, I don't. That's happening again, but it's not the government doing it. We're doing it to each other. This cancel culture bullshit, we're doing what 1984 had Oceania.
Dr. Phil faces off against Bill Maher in a heated exchange that has everyone talking. Known for his calm and assertive style, Dr. Phil pushes back hard against Maher's controversial takes during a tense episode of Club Random. As the discussion escalates, Maher delivers passionate arguments, but Dr. Phil responds with sharp, composed rebuttals that dissect Maher's logic point by point. The debate turns into a powerful display of contrast, emotional intensity on one side and rational clarity on the other. Dr. Phil's ability to stay focused and grounded ultimately leaves Maher momentarily speechless. This must-watch exchange has sparked major conversations about free speech, ideological pressure, and the limits of modern political discourse. The way both figures present their beliefs becomes a lesson in tone and method. While Maher aims to provoke, Dr. Phil strives to ground the discussion. Viewers are left not just entertained, but challenged. They're invited to examine how debates are conducted and where we draw the line between persuasion and polarization. The encounter stands as a cultural snapshot, one where style, substance, and intention collide.
We have a new breed of people.
And that's why I say politically, I don't care, because the Republicans started it, the Democrats continued it, and the kids, and this remote learning crap. If you look at some of the remote learning, particularly for grades 1st, 2nd, 3rd, they got 0 out of it. They got 0 out of it. That means they're now way behind. And if you're not reading on grade level at the end of the 3rd grade, your likelihood of dropping out is like 6x if you're in a low socioeconomic group.
So you may think that you're not going to be political, but you're being political. And I think it's a good place for you to go.
Well,
you can't avoid it anymore. You can't avoid it. And I need allies who are like where you and I are with, yes, both sides. Now, again, I come back to Trump. You got to like be on the page that he's worse than Joe Biden and very different than Joe Biden. Come on, Doc.
Look, it's not politics that determine the outcome of society. It's culture. I don't care about politics. You go back to the beginning, and Democrat and Republicans have been in control about 50-50.
Okay, I'm disappointed that I can't get you to just out and out say that Trump is a completely different animal than the politics on the left and the right that we both agree is very lacking on both sides.
It begs the question.
He is a completely different element and much more dangerous. I mean, we're talking about some sort of unnatural predator that was introduced into this wild, which was it was a jungle in the first place. But this is a different element. Nobody else has ever tried to not concede an election in this country, try to overturn an election we all, even the people in his own party, understood was lost. That is a Rubicon that we have crossed that makes him completely unique. A unicorn, if a unicorn was a big fat asshole. If I can't have your faith on that, it's very hard for me to understand where you're.
What makes this showdown even more fascinating is the irony. Bill Maher, the same host who once criticized Joy Reid and MSNBC for encouraging Americans to cut ties with family over political views, is now applying similar pressure on Dr. Phil. But Dr. Phil doesn't take the bait. He stays calm, refuses to submit to any forced ideological label, and stands firm in his commitment to thoughtful, apolitical conversation. It's clear why Maher presses him. People expect Dr. Phil to pick a side.
That's a cop-out. What difference does it make? A, he's not in power now. B, he's probably not going to be. And C, it doesn't. Let me ask you this. No, wait a minute. Hang on. You've read 1984 how many times?
Once.
You have a good memory.
I mean, it was like college time, but I loved it, and I certainly remember the gist, the Ministry of Truth.
Yeah, and Oceania.
Yes.
The government came in, they said there's we're going to tell you what words you can use. We're going to tell you what words you can't use.
Yes,
and if you don't do it right, we're going to unperson you.
I'm all over
You remember
that.
all that?
I know. And by the way, the Biden administration actually tried to have this year a ministry of truth. They almost called it. It was very close to it. I can't remember the name.
It was close.
It was close, and it was exactly what that is. I agree.
But even beyond that, let me tell you this.
But you think that's a bigger problem than Donald Trump?
No, I don't.
Oh,
because
great.
I don't think politics.
He values critical thinking over tribalism and refuses to be boxed into a narrative. The tension in the room is obvious, but Dr. Phil never flinches. His composure contrasts Maher's urgency, creating an intense but balanced dynamic. While Maher seeks a definitive answer, Dr. Phil remains focused on principle. This isn't just restraint, it's strategy, and it works. Instead of getting drawn into a polarized shouting match, he elevates the conversation. The takeaway: calm clarity can still win in a world addicted to outrage. Part 3. The irony builds when Bill Maher tries to find common ground with Dr. Phil, just moments after demanding he take a side. Dr. Phil, however, makes a broader and more powerful point. This culture of forcing people into binary choices is fueling division. He argues that in today's information-heavy world, thinking independently should be encouraged, not punished. Loyalty to a party or ideology shouldn't override logic and nuance. He stresses that the inability to disagree respectfully is damaging both the left and right. But Dr. Phil points out that the left's demand for total conformity has become especially destructive. It shuts down dialogue and alienates even those who might agree on core issues. This conversation is a wake-up call, one that shows why civil debate is needed now more than ever. It's not just about who's right or wrong. It's about whether we can even talk to one another anymore. The moment becomes less about policy and more about process. Dr. Phil uses the moment to remind us that humility, curiosity, and reasoned disagreement still matter.